Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review. And now, back to the Air Bud franchise, and now we're moving on to part 3, Air Bud, World Pup. Yeah, you get the pun, World Pup, World Cup, Yeah, I know the puns are not as funny though, like the next upcoming sequel, the fourth one called Seventh Fetch, of course. Seventh ending, seventh fetch, so, but, not talk about that one, um, but this is number 3, we're at in the franchise, and I did my reviews for the previous first 2 films, and this next one was released in, 2000, I think, forget was the first, the next one was released was in 1998, so, um, yeah, it was released in 1998, and of course doesn't feature Buddy, who originally played, plays the Buddy who played a comic from Full House, doesn't appear anymore because he's now passed on, and now got a different dog playing, and this is the first film that's been released direct to videos, and that doesn't it was not released in theaters, so this is the first film of the series to be released direct to DVD, or video. He still was released in year 2000, and IMDb was given a lower much a 4.5 on IMDb. I forget what the previous rating was for the second film. But the first film I think the first film had a much higher rating than this film. I forget though. But this one's a 4.5 on IMDb, and Rotten Tomatoes audience rated it. Not the thermometer, the tomato thermometer, or whatever that is, but what critics give it, but audience gives this film a 51%, so. But I forget what was the previous, what were the previous ratings on Rotten Tomatoes for the other previous films, so, but still. And you still got some of the cast, original cast members. Kevin Zegers comes back once again as Josh Fram. Even the guy who plays the guy who plays his friend Tom, I forget what was his name, the character Tom Stewart, still the same guy who played in the previous films. And then the thing that's pretty much about it. So yeah, the only original cast members that comes back. So, and of course they got the different but again into the story, there's not much to story about. Of course, this one he's now Air Bud. He now plays soccer, and of course he has the puppies, which the buddies, they which which um which which of course in the spin-off we got the Air Buddies though, but these I don't believe these are not the buddies, because in the sequel the puppies are more grown into adults though, so I don't think how in the those spin-off series Air Buddies, how does that work out? They're still puppies still, or has to be different kind of puppies though, but because the further the first Air Buddies into that Air Bud still makes an appearance, But anyway, let's talk about that though. But getting to the story, so yeah, so this film he plays soccer, so it opens up with Josh's mother getting married to the veterinarian from the second film, Patrick, and Josh doesn't have the ring, so he has Buddy go back to the house and get the ring. And when he gets the ring on his way back, he gets distracted by another golden retriever by the name of Molly, and she runs off when she sees the dog catcher van, But then Buddy goes back to the church, and Josh's mom and now stepfather is now married, so there's something like at the wedding, there's the kids are playing soccer, and Buddy, he's now starts playing soccer too, and And on the next day at the school, you know, Josh drops his sister off, you know, for the play. He was playing this kids soccer, you know. They have like a teenage girl who's moved from England, and by the name of Emma, and which Josh has taken a liking to, you know. And she's on the soccer team. Of course, all with the team is once again the Timberwolves, because all the teams in all the sports teams in the series are all named the Timberwolves, you know. Um, so the next day that um, Josh sees her playing soccer, and they're having an open to wanting some more players to play soccer. So him and his friend Tom and Buddy join the team. And the coach, who's the coach of the soccer team, is at first he looked a while back I didn't know who he was, but looking at him again, he looked familiar. And I looked up, and the guy who was playing the coach of the soccer team is where's the name? Miguel Sandoval, which really, if he was the guy who's playing the coach, he appeared in Jurassic Park. He at the start of the film after in Jurassic Park after the beginning of the incident. Isla Nublar cuts to where the miners, you know, he's in the mines, you know, the guy who's holding up the mosquito inside the amber. The miner's holding the mosquito in the inside the amber. That's the guy who's playing the coach. So yeah, so he's the guy who was in that small part in Jurassic Park, you know, at the start of the film. Is playing the coach. So yeah, just for that minor role, he's playing it from Jurassic Park. He's playing the coach. So and while even before that Buddy meets Molly again, but she loses her collar, and he traces back to this big mansion which is Molly belongs to Emma. To this fancy mansion where the gate is, so Buddy leaves the collar under the gate, you know. And of course, through the movie, she starts sneaking off at night, you know, and even the Josh's sister Andrea keeps seeing Buddy going by the window, you know. And of course, back into when Josh plays on the soccer team, Buddy joins and his friend joins, you know. Of course, they all start playing terrible except for Buddy, you know. The team starts playing terrible. Josh is playing terrible as well, you know. Of course, that's the thing, you know. At first they start playing terrible, but then eventually they get good at it, you know. So during the first game, the official game they're playing, you know, of course they were playing terrible except for Emma and Buddy, you know, scores 1 goal, but the rest of the opposite team called the Spartans, they scored 3 goals. They won that game, you know. No, actually no, that's during the next game. It was some other soccer team they were first playing against, a similar soccer team, you know. So so as the coach has them training right afterwards, you know, and I'm not exactly sure how soccer training is done because they're doing the training, they have like other players you know, on other players' backs, and like give them like piggyback rides, you know, during the training. Like I'm thinking, like, is that how sometimes in training soccer it is done? You know, some players go on other players' backs and as for piggyback rides and holding them while they start kicking the soccer ball. I don't know. It's just like doing it like, I'm like, really? Is that how sometimes in soccer training is done? Really? This is it's like another. I don't know much about soccer, so cause I don't watch soccer. You know, I prefer, you know. But anyway, yeah. But anyway, after that training, they start getting better at it though, and then during the next game is when they play against this team called the Spartans, and the coach of that team is wondering why is there a dog playing on the game, you know. Of course, the Timberwolves, they beat them, and of course the coach starts having a hissy fit that a dog can't play on a team, of course. Even during the one game, you got that coach says a line from the first film, one of the basketball team's coach was playing, will somebody cover that dog, If you remember the first film, the coach of the other basketball team was saying the same thing, But of course, but the coach was having a hissy fit because he says he's also the chairman of the conference, as wherever that is, So he has the team trying to ban the team banned from the league because the dog cannot play, But I'm like I don't know why that's concerned, because a lot of people know, because the people say you don't know who that is, that's Air Bud, I mean, the previous films, the other coaches weren't. The first film, the coach of the other team that was playing against the Timberwolves, he said the dogs can't play basketball, but they allowed to play anyway. And the second film, they had no problems. They had no problems with a dog playing football, But even the son of that coach, later for the season, the newspaper was saying, "What did you do?" Because he tells them because they can't have a dog on the team, and says no. Because we weren't playing hard enough, So because he knows that he has much respect for the son, and has had respect for the other team, even with the dog playing. So, but of course the coach has changes his mind, and has the dog back in anyway. And while that's going on, the dog nappers, which the guy who was in charge with the lead dog napper, which is another funny thing is that name Snurbert is played by Martin Ferrero, which he played Donald Gennaro in the lawyer, and also in Jurassic Park. So yeah, that's the scene in the beginning of the film where him with also the lead miner, and at the beginning of the film they were talking, So yeah, they're the two of those actors from Jurassic Park, especially when they were together in that scene in the mines. They were both in this movie, So, yeah. But even Martin Ferrero, he didn't appear much in the beginning, and the middle, and half of the film. He appeared mostly towards the end of the film, though. And he has his partner named Webster. He has him pretend he's a butler to get employed as a butler at Emma's house, So he can kidnap Molly, but didn't want to do it without breaking and entering, instead of going in the house and stealing the dog, Even though the bad guy is in this, Webster, which really he's not really a bad guy, which later on towards the end of the film though, but even him and Snurbert, Martin Ferrero, at least they were not bumbling idiots like the previous two idiots were in the second film, the Russian couple, Yeah, like I say, even though Martin Ferrero didn't appear in the first and the middle half of the film, but I find the two guys, Snurbert and Webster, are still better bad guys than the Russian couple in the second film, because I did not care for the two Russian woman and guy, the Russian people who trying to kidnap for their plan to take all the animals for the Russian circus, I just didn't care for them at all, But I think they're still better. The two guys and the dog nappers were still better than those two. Even still, that Michael Jeter from the first film as Norman Snively is still the best villain of the whole Air Bud series, because I liked him, But and while there's one scene where Josh gets in the soccer team, they get invited to a party at Emma's house, and even Andrea and her friend Tammy, they sneak in because they're wondering why they follow Air Bud, because wondering why he's been sneaking out all night, so follows back to Emma's house, and at the place, Josh shows Emma that this pocket knife that Patrick gave him, one of them contains a whistle. Of course, he didn't know this whistle was a dog whistle. So he blows on it, nothing happens. But like all the other dogs, like in town, they come in the house and out the back, But then sometime later, Molly has 6 puppies. Of course, there's 4 in the back here, but the show isn't all 6 in the back here. She has 6 puppies, and then some time goes by. The puppies are growing up a little bit more. And then since Buddy's been back on the soccer team, the team has been doing well, going to the championship, Sorry, my nose has been really itchy. My nose has been really itchy lately, so I apologize for that. So, what happens next? Of course, just like the second film, just like the second film, just before the game starts, they start the game without their key players before something happens, Webster takes the keys from the housemaid, and him and Snurber or Martin Ferrero, they steal the puppies, they take it back to the warehouse with other puppies, because the character Snurber was a dog napper, but he got fired, So they follow the Josh, Emma, and Andrea. They fall back. They go to the warehouse where they're at, and they get inside, and they get locked in this room, and Josh uses the dog whistle to send all the dogs in town in there, and they chase the 2 guys. One, they climb up the ladder, and one little dog pushes the ladder over, even though two big men on a ladder, a small dog doesn't have strength to knock the ladder over, But the dogs surround them, and Webster, played by Don McMillan, he goes and rats him out because he wanted to steal puppies to be rich, So he goes and rats him out, because he said he always wanted a puppy. And he goes and helps them drive them back to the game, So as the team as they come back into the game, of course they come back and they win the game, of course. Even one thing I forgot to mention, even before the championship, while the Timberwolves were playing all the other games, you still have once again you had the old guy who played the referees in both the previous films, Jay Burr. What was his last name? Jay Barzul, he was the old middle-aged old guy from the previous 2 films, especially the first film, he was the old bearded referee, He comes back in this once again as a referee for the soccer, for refereeing those couple of soccer games. You saw him, because once again during one of those games he comes running back and forth. He's getting all tired out, Of course, he also comes back in the next sequel, Seventh Fetch. Of course, that guy's gonna be the villain in the next film when I get to that. But I'll get to that in the next review though. So they win the game, and you get special appearances from real life soccer players. Like one of those watching the game was Brianna Scurry, who was also a female soccer player, real life. And so that takes place 4 months later at the Women's Soccer Championship for the next World Cup, America playing against Norway. Brianna Scurry is the goalie, as one. From each player of each team tries to kick in a goal. Scurry blocks the first one, and the second one she blocks it, but also hurts her arm. And so they have Buddy to come in to be the goalie, and of course, he blocks in, and then they win the World Cup, And they also have two other female soccer players as themselves, right there on the back, right there, which is Brandy Chastain and Tesha Venturini. How the last name is pronounced. That's these two here on the back right there. They also come in. They also play as themselves as well, along with Braun and Scurry. So they win the World Cup, and it ends with Josh lifting Buddy up, as the camera pauses there with them, and of course it shows some scenes after, during the credits, and it has that song which I think really I thought was an okay song, it goes like this, how did it go? Isn't going everywhere, something like that, I forgot what the song was called though, but it was an okay song. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, that's Air Bud World Pup. Yeah, I do like the film world because I always been a fan of the whole Air Bud series, except for the Air Buddy spin-offs. I was never a fan of the Air Buddy spin-offs. I was more a fan of all the 5 films in this series. So yeah, so that's World Pup. That's Air Bud 3 World Pup. Kevin Zegers comes back. He was fine. Other cast members were fine. Even though Martin Ferrero didn't appear that much at the beginning and the second half and in the middle, but more towards the end. He was fine though, but I would still prefer him in Jurassic Park still. The other cast members was fine. The guy, his partner Webster, he was all right. Like how he ends becoming a good guy at the end, there's not much. There's just not much to say. So yeah, I'll have to wait till I get the last 2 Air Bud films though. But I did my DD update, so I got this. So but I have to someday I have to get the other 2 ones. So the next one on the entrance will be Air Bud 7th Fetch, which he's gonna play baseball, and then the 5th one, Air Bud Spike's Bag, which when he plays volleyball. But now this is stick with the Air Bud World Pup. The first one, as I said, the first one's always gonna be the best. Still, I think I'll put this like I don't know what I would say. Probably just a tad below number 2, But no, actually, I think put number 2 and 3. I think they're pretty much the same though. But yeah, but there's not much to it though. So yeah, but I still like the film overall though. I still like the film overall. So yeah. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned on the next movie review. And if anyone's a fan of the Air Bud franchise and they like the films, that's fine, So that's good. But I do like the 3rd one overall though. I have to get the last 2 on DVD. So when I have the time, and so. But for now I got number 3, so I got it and I can review it, and I did. So thanks for watching, and see you soon on the next movie review. Later.